The heavy storm raged on all evening, forcing me to close the windows tightly to keep the relentless rain and wind at bay. However, what pierced through the silence was not the usual chirping of birds or the gentle rustling of leaves, but a shrill cry that sent shivers down my spine. Barely opening the window, I was met with a heartbreaking sound, a desperate kitten's cry echoing through the damp air. Without a second thought, I rushed outside, driven by the urgency of that helpless plea for help. My search led me to the front of my house, next to an abandoned and unfinished two-story building. There, a small, frightened kitten thrashed and screamed, its tiny form soaked, but its spirit unbroken. The dryness of its fur indicated recent abandonment. My house, situated on one of the main streets of the village, usually bustling with activity, seemed oblivious to this lone creature's plight. As the hours passed, the kitten's cries persisted, cutting through the noise of the busy street. It sat in the open, calling out for help, refusing to retreat. Lunchtime brought my husband home, but as I began to share the story of the distressed kitten, he preemptively shook his head, urging me not to get involved. Our home already housed 4 adult cats, 3 of which were once street strays, alongside a mixed-breed Dachshund and a shelter dog in our yard. Despite his practical advice, my heart refused to turn away from the tiny soul in distress. As soon as my husband left for work, I walked out the gate, desperately hoping that someone had come to the kitten's rescue. The street, however, remained oblivious to the small creature's cries. I continued my search, and just when I began to lose hope, I spotted a small, furry head peeking above the window of the abandoned building. I called out to the kitten, and with a mixture of fear and longing, it scrambled onto the windowsill. Trembling, it clung to my outstretched hand and began to purr. Determined to provide comfort, I scooped the kitten up, cradling it in my arms. With minced chicken and warmed milk, I created a makeshift haven under a spreading bush in the yard where the rain couldn't penetrate. Despite my best efforts to leave, the little one wouldn't let me go. It followed me, a ball of fur shaking with vulnerability. That's when my daughter, our resident cat sitter, almost magically, they formed an instant bond, and within moments, they were chasing butterflies around the garden.